Well, I have moved. I'm in my new house and hardly anything is in here. So it's really echoing. It's time to fill up everything with stuff, which means let's go thrifting. It's nice to go back to a Goodwill I haven't gone to in a while, so let's get to it and look inside at something I haven't seen in a while, like this Jell-O Jigglers Fun Snack Kit. As a kid, this did look like some fun snacks. It was something about the way they jiggled in the shapes and whatnot. I don't know what it was about them, but I wanted them in my body, and now I don't. Quite a few dead people's cassette tapes down here. No doubt, but nothing really of interest. I have been collecting them a little bit more recently, but, a little more into Twisted Sister and less Climax. Climax? Really? Is that what it's at? What? Anyway, Fable the Journey. This is a game that no one cared about, still doesn't care about, for the Kinect and 360. Whatever, man. There's also Rise of Nations and Rise of Legends. These are a couple things I've been after for a while. Have them in some other form like loose discs, but didn't have the boxes. Now I do. Here's something that I would actually want if it were working. This is a General Electric clock radio thing from back in some sort of day, and it just has a look that is simultaneously awesome and hideous. And that's attractive to me. Plus, it's got a pecan finish. What's not to like here, except the fact that it doesn't work and it's in pretty bad shape. But something else I'm going to leave here, which is another General Electric sort of radio setup deal. A lot later on, or maybe not a little bit later on in the lifetime of this kind of electronics. It's just got this industrial look to it, the silver and the wood grain and the black. And, the speakers look kind of neat too. Just not something I'm in the market for at the moment. I'm not in the market for this VCR either. I could be, but I'm not. It just has that look that is very nostalgic for me. Plus these little dip switches and toggles and whatnot at the top that, my dad always told me, you never mess with those, and I tried to anyway, and something happened. I don't know. It wasn't good, but VCRs, I like the buttons and all the things on there, even though I'll never use one again, probably. Unless I do. Ooh, check it out. Solid state tape recorder of some kind here, made by Linear. It's got a really neat case with it, and it's simultaneously, it feels like a brick, but it just seems really cheap, like cheaply made, lots of cheap components packed together to feel more expensive than it is. It just, whatever, it's a nice design otherwise. There's lots of cheap AV stuff here. Look at this sound design, hi-fi, all in one unit. It felt like just Kleenex, dude. It could fall apart just by you farting on it wrong. But check out this graphic equalizer. I just love all of those little sliders there. Had some kind of cassette tape in there from Radio Shack too. Kind of wanted just the tape. But yeah, every bit on here felt like it was going to fall off. I'm surprised it's still in one piece after all these years. Moving on to my former favorite Goodwill, and you know what? Walking on that rock last time seemed to give me good luck, so let's try it again. There we go. All right, let's see what we got inside. And inside, we've got 700,000 games! Oh my god, that's a lot of games. Man, these shovelware packs are really trying hard these days. Although this one's several years old now. It's actually kind of well-known amongst shovelware weirdos like me. I've got a couple of them. I don't have all these, though, and nor do I want them. These are just flooding Goodwill stores all over the place nowadays, and I guess Target's just getting rid of a ton of these, hidden object games and slot games, and a lot of stuff for the Nintendo DS, 3DS, Wii U, Xbox 360 as well, and some Leapfrog stuff just randomly. But yeah, a lot of copies of Zombie U I'm seeing all over, and some I don't know, whatever this is, Rex, generating Rex. Yeah, and a few good things as well. Not Angry Birds Star Wars, but things like Dark Souls 2 over here, which, hey, that's a good game. I already have it and don't need it, but yeah, it's like $10. Oh, here's something else I don't need, but whatever. It's in a big box PC game form, and that just interests me. This is Lynx LS 1999 by Access Software. I've got a ton of games in this series, and I've got this one somewhere, I think without the box, but you know what, I don't care. I've got so many of them in the box. At this point, I'm just whatever. It's beyond me. Something that isn't, though, this kind of intrigued me just because I think I've heard good things about this. Dr. Muto for the PlayStation 2 by Midway. I would have gotten it just to check it out because I don't know if it's any good or not, but it was all scratched to pieces. Over in the auction case, and oh man, is that a Hitler puppet? Oh, no. Okay, that's got to be Oliver Hardy, right? Please tell me it's Mr. Hardy. Either way, not for me. These might be for me, though. I would totally buy them if they weren't in the auction going for more money than I wanted to spend. We have an APF TV Fun and a Sears Sports Center. These are both Pong consoles. I would love these. Look at everything about them. Oh, they are turning me on. Let's move onward to this, which looked a bit like a large bomb. Actually, it looks a little bit like my Mini Nuke Fallout Anthology Collector's Edition thing. But yeah, this is an Altec Lansing portable speaker amplifier thing. Kind of a neat design. I'm just a fan of just unusual designs for speakers and electronics and stuff, and this XA3021 just kind of catches my eye, even though it's also rather ugly. Oh man, here we go. This just catches my eye because it's IBM, right? This is an IBM Wheelwriter 3. And it would actually go for quite a bit more if I were to just buy this and like clean it up, fix it, and sell it. But I don't want to. I just want to look at it. I mean, these things are tank-like, wonderful IBM build quality, great keyboards. You can hook them up to other IBM peripherals and CRTs and things. They're really capable machines if you're into this kind of thing. On the opposite end of the quality spectrum here, we have an iJuke by Crosley. These are kind of cool. I remember kind of wanting one back whenever they were still a thing. All these gimmicky iPod docks, man, they just disappeared, didn't they? This one, though, I mean, it just kind of looks neat. I'm sure you could retrofit it for something else. Well, that's a large Rockstar energy drink can. Oh, wait, it's a light for some reason. I don't know who would want that. I do know who would want this, though. Me! This is a Unitrix 1200 calculator. Oh, look at this thing. It's ugly. It's mid-70s. It makes me happy. And look at this orange display. This is something called a Panaplex display. Not exactly the same as like VFDs or Nixie tubes or fluorescent whatever. I mean, it's somewhere in between all those from what I gather, but just looks neat. I love the design of this, and I love the fact that you manually switch where the decimal is by this switch on top of it here. That's just, I love this. Getting it, cleaning it up, gonna be mine. Kind of an intriguing little Philips under-the-counter TV there, but behind here is something that has my attention far more so, because I saw Windows logos and Sound Blaster logos and all sorts of good things on there. This is a MusicStar Multimedia Music System by Reveal. Plugs into any PC with a sound card. Well, alright, consider me very much interested. Even though I've looked at several of these little MIDI pianos before on LGR thrifts, and I always find something about them that I don't like, mainly the fact that they're not complete or they're just too large. But this one is smaller, and you know, opening up the box, it's in great shape and everything is here. It's got the cables, the manuals, the software still looks like sealed up and everything. And at $7, that's just a really nice price for me, so I'm getting it. Oh my goodness, that is the most hideous thing I've ever seen. Oh man, it looks like 1971 threw up. What the heck? When was this made? 2008? Why? Who did this? Some interesting stuff over in the records and whatever today. I saw this Blur Girls and Boys single, or maxi single, or DJ single, whatever. It's got the BPM and such listed in the top right there, and I wasn't really thinking about grabbing it until I saw that it was a translucent orange record. That just looks neat. I do have a few DJ records and singles and such that will fit in nicely with this. It's interesting. A lot of these are 45 RPM on 12-inch. So yeah, I grabbed a couple of them, but then I forgot about it by the end of the video. So sorry. But yeah, I did get the one by Blur, some by Chemical Brothers and Prodigy and the Orb, and you know, some cool stuff. Including this one by Elton John and RuPaul. You know, I had no idea that they did Don't Go Breaking My Heart together, but you know, I should have known, just knowing these two personalities and what they do. That makes a whole lot of sense. Had to grab this one. On to my favorite Goodwill, and let's see what's inside today. And inside, right away, I'm seeing what appears to be the biggest, most ridiculous iPod dock. Ion Block Rocker right here in the corner of this shelf, and you know, that was really strange to see the dock on top and this thing being so big. I don't think I've ever seen a dock this large for an iPod. But then again, that just makes sense for the time when this was around. How else are you going to listen to those block rockin' beats? Oh hey look, a boxed copy of Sim Theme Park, the Bullfrog follow-up to Theme Park, and released over here as Sim Theme Park for some reason. It's actually a pretty cool game, but I have several copies. I don't need it. I'm gonna leave this one for someone else to find. Pretty cool boxed collection of the Alien trilogy here on VHS. I actually already have a couple of those just individually, but I didn't have this, and I'm definitely gonna grab this. This is Nine Inch Nails' Closure, the 12th official NIN release. This is a VHS set, and it's complete. It's got the sleeves and the boxes and the plastic and everything. I've never found anything by Nine Inch Nails at Goodwill. I do find these on occasion though, and I gotta grab them whenever I see them. This is a nice Packard Bell keyboard here. In fact, this particular one is a model 5131C, and it'll work quite well with my Packard Bell Platinum Pentium 2 computer. It looks like it fits in, because it does. And this thing, it just looks awesome, period. This is a Harman Kardon A402 amplifier. It's a mid-70s piece of equipment that looks fantastic. Look at that LED display. Shame it doesn't work. Beneath the Longhorns over here, I see a vintage Sony logo, which has my heart fluttering already. Well, it appears to be a Sony solid-state tape recorder, and actually this is interesting because it's a reel-to-reel, but it's smaller. And it uses the same type of tape as far as I can tell, except that it's just on much smaller reels. Portable, very cool. I would love to get one. I love reel-to-reel stuff. However, this one was in horrible shape. Nothing was functioning right. There were all sorts of parts falling out the back. Battery compartment was torn to shreds. Nah, I'll pass. Ran across this Bell and Howell thing too. I thought it was a slide projector at first, but no. This is something called a Language Master. And look at those colorful buttons. Apparently it was used in the 60s and early 70s to teach language skills, and there was a magnetic card reader on top there. It doesn't have any of that, but kind of neat to see this. Dang, that is one disgusting fan. And that is one awesome clock. Ugh, okay, yeah, I know I am a sucker for General Electric clock radios, but just look at that. Look at the hands and the dials and the design and everything. It could use more wood grain though, to be honest, but it still looks really neat. This looked really neat too. I just saw the HX Pro logo on there, and I knew I was interested and pretty much in love. This is a Sony TC-RX 55ES tape deck, and it's got all sorts of awesome little features, a really cool display, the Dolby noise reduction, multiple tape types, and this really neat split level control, which has left and right on the same knob. It's just split down the middle. Now, I did buy this. I took it home, took it apart because it wasn't working, and yeah, the belt had turned into chewing gum and cottage cheese, so I got to replace that, but I think it's going to work nicely, and it'll be pretty fun to play with once it's done. Alrighty, on to one more Goodwill before I head home, because, you know what, why not? It's here. Past the abnormally large Fisher CD changer units over here, I saw something that I was not familiar with at all until I saw it. This is a Diastar 200. Don't know what it was at all at first, and then I saw the description was in German, so that helped me even less. But apparently this is a 35mm slide viewer that when you use it, you are surrounded by happy Germans. So kind of an intriguing little device here. I did not know that kind of teleportation was possible. Then down below, oh, this cool little clock. I had this alarm clock as a kid. You know, this silver and wood grain and like red LED design LCD. I've just been into it ever since then, and maybe that's why I'm into it now, because I was into it as a kid. I don't know. It just appeals to me. I think it's neat. Unfortunately, this one's display was dead in the exact same way that mine died as a kid. Quite a few random AV bits and bobs scattered about here, and not much of interest until I saw this little RCA TV. Look at this. This is like it's color TV and everything. It's just all in one cuboid type of unit. I like this design. It's very utilitarian and not much going on here at all. In fact, there's not really inputs that I could make a whole lot of use of. Just antenna and UHF, VHF, and I could do converters, but I don't want to. I just like the look of this, and I like looking at it and touching it right here. So that's what I'm doing. I'm touching it a lot. Now touch this a lot too. Lift up this thing's skirt, and what do we got underneath? It's an IBM Selectric 3. A later model, but still rather sought after, and the same amazing build quality of earlier IBM Selectrics, like the 1960s model that I have. It's brown, it's kind of ugly beautiful, and I just think it looks neat. Plus, holy crap, $17 isn't a bad price at all. I would definitely grab it. If anything, just for this fantastic IBM cover. I just don't need it. I'm moving right now. Everything is in the way, and this is bulky and huge, and I'll never use it, but it looks nice. It pleases me. And this does not. That is a really phallic-looking gourd thing. This is not a phallic gourd. This is a beam and reading and working light for anywhere you need light. It's it's a light that hangs from your neck and shines on things. Alright, I'm sure someone really needed this to put it into production. Oh my, that is a lot of PlayStation 1s. What is going on here? Somebody who had like a game shop or repair shop or something just like shut their doors. I don't know. Couldn't get the full story, but these don't work. And they were just all hanging around here for $10 each. There were all sorts of models too, including some with the AV ports on the back, but for $10 and things were rattling around inside and lasers were missing and things like that, I just didn't grab any of them. I don't need any of them, but still pretty wild to see so many in one spot. The same with these Sega Genesis Model 2s. There were at least 5 or 6 of them just hanging around here in various states of nastiness and rust and parts missing, disrepair. It's kind of sad actually, but yeah, maybe someone needs a shell and could clean these up. No use to me though. And over with the used shoes and underwear is something that is worth even less than that. Sega Genesis sports games, boxed, unboxed, whatever. Look like they came from maybe the same place where those Sega Genesises did earlier. Similarly covered in cobwebs and balls and rust and sweat, and it's just kind of gross. So I'm not going to grab any of these. And that is all for episode 25 of LGR Thrifts. That's a lot of episodes. That's a quarter of a way to a larger number. Quite happy with the thingies that I stumbled across, like this Music Star Multimedia Music System. This should make for a fun Oddware episode if I can get it working. Then this Packard Bell keyboard. It's going to fit in nicely with my Packard Platinum. And this Unitrex 1200 calculator. Oh, looks so good. Rise of Nations, Rise of Legends, Nine Inch Nails, and Burnout 2. I forgot where I got that, but I did. And the Sony tape player, which is, it's getting close to working. I've got the belt replacement, so I just need to install that, but it seems to be okay otherwise. So yeah. Anyway, well, thank you very much for watching this episode. And as always, thank you very much for sending in your viewer finds and all that good stuff. I appreciate it, and I appreciate the interest in the show that has continued on for this long. 25 episodes is really wild. I'm gonna keep on doing it, and yes, for those of you that have asked, I have moved, but I am still close enough to these Goodwills to still be able to do this. As always, it just kind of takes an indeterminate amount of time to make each episode. Sometimes there's a couple months in between them just because I don't find enough stuff to put together into a full 10 to 15 minutes, so I don't. But yeah, I'll still be making them, even though I have moved. It is not too far out of the way that I can't make a small trip to go out there and look at some thrift stores. And as always, thank you very much for watching.